through the prayers of Holy Fathers, of Jesus Christ, our God, have mercy on us and save us. Amen. Good evening. For those new here, my name is Father Joseph Swaden. I've worked in Orthodox apologetics since 1998, and I'm the founder of NFTU True Orthodox News and Ecumenical News since 2004. We've been in the apologetic space on Facebook since 2016 and on YouTube since 2018. Today we do our live Q&A session where you can get your reviews, you can get your questions answered live, as well as member-requested video reviews. So let's get started. And as always, if you want to jump on to ask a question or just jump on stream for a comment, click the link at the top of the chat. Okay, wow. So first off, the Feast of Pentecost, everybody. It is, the 50th day after the resurrection, where we start moving into a somewhat, normal kind of more kind of regular sort of thing that we do. We start off, of course, it's the end of the Paschal season. Christ ascends into heaven. The apostles have, they've received the Holy Spirit today. Father Antonio says, blessed feast, happy feast. So I was good evening, everyone. Hope everyone had a blessed feast. Absolutely. This is a very important day in the life of the church. And as a quick reminder, this week, if I remember correctly, is fast free, and after that begins the Apostles' Fast, which goes on until June 28th, Old Style, July 12th, 13th, New Style. And so, with that, let's get started. As you can tell from the title, today is an anniversary of something. And what that something is, well, basically, 1 year ago today, Father Simeon says hi. Hi, Father. Let's see. 1 year ago today, I had this video that I did, and I'm going to put it up. And I'm actually going to review myself because, boy, did I not know a lot of things back then. So let me get something up here because it's a pretty important day, at least for me it was. It's not this tab. I really should know how to use the tabs by now. It's pretty sad that I don't. But I'm getting there. Okay. This was, let me make it full screen. Okay. This was 1 year ago today.
Good evening. This is Deacon Joseph Swaden.
Also, I'm doing it at 1.25 because I talk slow.
I am making this video because of the fact that, I'm going to be honest, I have been putting off this video for about 3 weeks. I was planning to create this. I had a script ready.
I will add some context for those who are new to the channel. 3 weeks after Blessed Feast, thank you, Jason. This was approximately 3 weeks after my debate on the Crucible with Resident Sleeper, which had massive ripple effects throughout a lot of people's lives. It was kind of a crazy thing, and at that moment, I started thinking to myself, hey, maybe I should kind of take this apologetics deal more seriously.
And somewhere along the lines, I ended up having to reboot my system, and I lost the script, and that became something holding me back. And then I, had a grandchild, and then I could come up with a lot of different reasons as to why I didn't do this 3 weeks ago. But the point I'm trying to make is that I'm doing it now because I feel it needs to be done. Basically, what I've come to some conclusions about what we've been doing here in terms of apologetics, in terms of growing the site, in terms of, as you've probably noticed by now, I'm kind of merging the Orthodox Apologetics channel into the what's the word I'm looking for? Into the
NFTU space. Let's skip a little bit. Yeah, that this is now obviously NFTU News and Apologetics. We've kind of rebranded that. There are some other things we're still working on
to go. And so ultimately, I have a long-term plan for what we're doing here. That is something that I did not have before. I was trying to kind of keep everything kind of separate. I have a day job, and that day job takes up a lot of my time. It's a full-time job. It's 40 hours a week. It does not, I shall say my job is shiftless. I don't want to go into detail about it.
That's okay. I will note here, for those who have been following the channel for a long time, they already know what happened. For those who don't, 2 weeks after this video, I would lose my job.
Don't feel comfortable with that, and it's not ultimately necessary. The simple truth is, one thing that I have been learning as I have been, even in these recent debates, is realizing that there are a lot of things that a lot of people do not know. NFTU, in some sense, was not only just a news resource; it's slowly becoming a historical resource. But in the end, what we're not seeing is there's a lot more that can be done, a lot more, and I'm aware of it. I know that it can be done, and I know how to do it. The one thing I don't have is time. The more and more I kind of think about this and look at what we're doing here, and what we have been doing, ultimately, is building a base for apologetics and building a base to bring true orthodoxy to the masses. And slowly, I'm starting to realize that a part-time effort is not going to cut it. So this is part of the reason why I've begun the process of trying to monetize NFTU, and trying to.
That was interesting, I will say. One thing that I did realize is that yes, in the past year, for the most part, minus those first 2 weeks I mentioned, going full time has been kind of weird. It has a lot of things have changed, and a lot of changes have been made, and I've seen things that I didn't think I'd ever see. I don't think the guy in this video could even envision the stuff the past year. It's simply not possible. Blessed feast. Everyone's, I'm glad everyone had a great feast. This is wonderful. Well, that's why we call it a great feast. Okay. Anyway, the point is that, yeah, so it was kind of a big deal to try it, but even I didn't know how big. I didn't know how many people would be affected, how many people would be changed. Osna says, "Blessed feast, everyone." Indeed, it's Raznikum. And I couldn't possibly. That guy in this video could not have possibly envisioned where I am now. He just couldn't. He had no concept of it. At that time, that was a deacon, and I'm not a deacon anymore. I did just have a grandbaby, and now that grandbaby is baptized into the church. And I've done 2 weddings. I've seen at least 10, just at least 10 baptisms. Either I performed them or I helped with them. And it doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. There's been a lot more noise, a lot more chaos, a lot more craziness, and I think that was bound to happen. It was just going to happen, and I think from here, basically, the rest of this video is mostly future mistakes I'd realize later.
To build it, I know that that's probably a lot of people ask for money, and I'm not going to pretend that that's not what I'm asking for in this case. I put a subscribe star link. For those not familiar with what's
mistake number 1, subscribe star. It may work if you're a really large scale influencer, but if you're not, when you're just starting out, it is absolutely useless. I've also learned that a lot of methods people use to monetize benefit the portal more than they benefit the user. A good example, I hate to bring this up, but a good example of this is Substack. I mean, it's only unless you have no talent whatsoever, putting together a blog, and they're pretty easy to do. Monster Blessed Feast. And there's just a lot of money that's actually being lost to people who are just in the business of taking other people's work and taking their money. It's kind of sad.
Subscribe star is. I can just show you subscribe star right here and what my plan is. Because ultimately we've been doing this kind of for free. And I will be honest with you, 19 years of running a website the size of NFTU help.
I'm taking the subscribe star stuff off. I'm skipping it because there is no more subscribe star. I took it off. How long did I talk about subscribe star?
Frankly, working a humdrum job that doesn't pay, I could replace those.
Don't worry, brother. You don't have that job anymore. Anyway, let's see what else here. We do have the Odyssey up. I think we lost a couple of members. We're hoping to get new members or get those back. So we still do have that. So I'm going to skip over that and get back to, and of course, yep, NFTU itself, which is the central hub for what we do, whether it's news reporting, whether it's putting up the latest apologetics videos, whether it's for keeping up. And we didn't even stop to talk about the Frost and Us Cafe, which I really, speaking of which, I need to get to the point where I can fix something. And I'm not seeing that right now. Okay. Oh, well, that was good. Let me see here. Oh, there is something here. I took a snapshot. Okay. Okay. If I can get this loaded up, everyone, I know it seems like I'm interrupting myself, but if I could get this loaded up, if our web guy for the cafe sees this, we could actually go live. We could actually go live and work on the cafe. I've been meaning to do that. Norman Ernesto says links to donate are on NFTU site, right? Yeah, and they're usually on the video. I didn't put them on today because I was running late, but I am going to put them on after I'm done. But if you scroll to the bottom of NFTU, yeah, you can donate with Cash App, PayPal, crypto, and we can really use it. It's the end of the month. I'm not going to give a long speech here because we're already watching a video appealing for assistance, and I'm not going to appeal for assistance while watching a video appealing for assistance. It's too much.
Grow. Not only the work we do in apologetics, general news. I mean, even today, I'm going to have to probably do an article. Just 2 days ago, we had the Patriarch Kirill, congratulating the World Council of Churches on its 75th anniversary. I mean, there's stuff that it's just obvious. We are in an age now, especially in this high video, audio, heavy information era, where world orthodoxy is not a valid option when true orthodoxy is there, and that needs to be something we can clarify. It needs to be something we can defend. It needs to be something we can make obvious. It's incredibly difficult to fight with the wall of stupid, and what I mean by that is any of you who have gone.
Hey, let's take a look here. Preach the Torah. Keep the commands. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about, Jorge. I feel like you're here for fun, but that's cool. You can always jump on the stream. Anyone can call in. How is Lydia Enoch doing today? Well, last I checked, he was doing okay. I think I sent him a link. Let me double check here. I didn't send him a link yet. Here, I'm going to send a link in the hopes that maybe he'll pop on. We shall see. But yeah, from what I understand, he today was great. He performed. I assume he performed the baptism, and it was baptism of one of our long-term listeners here. So I was grateful and privileged to be involved with that, and I was kind of hoping that like maybe if he was watching, he might pop on. It's possible. I never know. But yeah, so we had a baptism today. They had a baptism today at the Abbey, and yeah, from what I understood, everything went fine, went great. And let me see here. Jorge says Yahuwah. Okay, yep. Okay, Jorge, that's fine. Let's finish this up.
On to a lot of true Orthodox churches over the years, know about some of the big celebrations, like the ones they do in Theophany and Astoria and other ones. You know about Suzdal. You know about there's a lot of different places and sites and millions of true Orthodox people, and we have to get past a wall of people saying we don't exist. And I think that we're getting there. I think that we're getting better at this. But the better we get at it, the less time I realize I have. So I don't mind getting that one-time donation if I'm never going to say no. But the realistic thing is it's about time. And that's part of the reason I created the subscriptions to begin with. I want to buy that time that I don't have so I can put it towards NFTU and make this my full-time job.
Glory to God. Very glad to hear about the baptism. What a great day to be baptized. Okay, if I'm being technical, and this was my screw up with my speech here, he was technically baptized yesterday, like last night or yesterday morning, because it's normally done the day before Pascha or the day before Pentecost. And so let me see here. What a great day to be baptized. Father, how much time did you spend with Archbishop Seraphim Rock? Very little. Archbishop Seraphim took care of catacomb communities, and so he was all over the place. And his travels, were a complicated matter to say the least. But they had a system that they used. I met Archbishop Seraphim a few times. That's because he came to our parish in St. Petersburg under Father Alexei Lebedev a number of times, especially during the name worshiper controversy. And so I was able to meet him in Suzdal and see his kind of little house that he had there. It's a tiny little, kind of like a little rest stop, kind of monastic cell hut that he kind of had going. A little house, it's maybe like a studio. But the point is, he used that for basically for synod meetings, and then once those were over, he just left. So he was all over the place. So I can't say that I spent that much time with him. To be quite honest, I met him a few, and I think kind of important times. But other than that, for the most part, he wasn't. I wouldn't say he was inaccessible. He was definitely more accessible to our St. Petersburg parish than he was to a lot of people. But the point is that he was taking care of catacombs. So us people above ground weren't his primary concern. So yeah. But I can't say that I spent I spent 2 weeks in his cell or anything like that. There was nothing of that sort. We'd meet him for a few hours at a time for services, and sometimes he'd be there at synod meetings, and that was kind of about it. So it would be a pretty limited amount of time to begin with either him or Archbishop Anthony of Uransk, who was also a catacomb bishop. They just had other things to take care of. Okay, let me see here. Okay. Okay. And I am, if you're wondering, I'm actually answering. Well, that is interesting. That isn't. I'm gonna share that in just a moment. There, got a message from DTC. He wants to share a picture, so I'm gonna save the picture, and then I will share the picture if I can figure out how to share the picture. Let me see here. Okay, so I can't share anything but a video. From here.
I don't know that there's much more to say. I'd like to thank everyone who has supported us, not just with your money, but with your prayers. I'd like to thank everyone who is helping, even volunteering. A lot there are people who do that, but I want to see if we can take this to even greater levels and move it even further forward. Again, I'd like to thank everyone who's been listening. I'd like to thank everyone who's been reading over the years. And I hope you're all having a productive fast of Saints Peter and Paul, and have a good night.
Okay, with that, I will note, last year we did have the Saints Peter and Paul fast and at this time, but this year we're blessed enough that it's only 13 days long or so. But I definitely will try to, let me see here. Okay, very good. For those wondering what I'm doing, I am actually connecting to the Frosenos Cafe right now because I'm going to be making some changes in it because there's been a lot of complaints about its design. Let me see here. Why don't you follow Torah? Why don't you follow Torah? I mean, it's a kind of a goofy thing to say. I mean, are you actually really trying to make if you're trying to make this argument, you should actually get on and try to make the argument. Don't just spam up my chat, because that's the way I will ban from the chat. I don't ban normally. I do ban ridiculousness, and it's not necessary. Have you published a book, or is there a group of files outlining proof for the so-called World Orthodox heresy organized in one place? There's a couple of them, and I was going to actually do a. What's the word I'm looking for? A shortened version, which the introduction is members only right now on NFTU, and I have to get to. It's going to take a little longer than I thought because there's always new things going on. But I'm going to just be covering decade by decade the 20th century of Orthodox history, where I think it is pretty indisputable. One thing that I do have a problem is when we start making up terms, like the so-called World Orthodox heresy. Nobody calls it the so-called World Orthodox heresy. We call it ecumenism, or we call it modernism, or we call it Sergianism. And with those, you can locate the origins very easily. It's a very ignorant position to take to say, well, they're just saying all the World Orthodox we're heretics. First off, no one's calling you a heretic. I don't even know who you are. Second off, more importantly, you should probably pay attention to what we're saying in that sense, because historically, all of this stuff can be demonstrated. And when millions of people can say that, there's usually a good reason for it. And you said, I called it the so-called World Orthodox heresy because I'm not Orthodox. Okay, well, it's just, we believe true Orthodox are just Orthodox. Just the way World Orthodox believe they're just Orthodox, we believe we're just Orthodox. And it's up to the person who wants to take a look and point out the reality of the situation to get the real answers. Even though I'm not Orthodox, I paid for the membership. That it's I'm kind of disappointed it's only intro. LOL. I do apologize. I did say that I would have that out this week. I will try to have that out by next week. It's just I cannot stress how weirdly busy things keep becoming for me. It's not altogether difficult to do. What I'm basically doing is starting with, the 1910s. This happened in Greece. This happened in Russia. This happened in Bulgaria. This happened in Romania. This happened, so on and so forth. The 1920s. And basically, I was just going to go through the 20s through the 50s, into the 50s through the 2000s. I think that just a simple historical assessment, even a broad one, is really easy to demonstrate the reality that the ecumenists and Sergianists took over a large part of the official churches. I hope you stick around. I would very much appreciate it. I do keep my promises. I'm just very slow these days. Norman Ernesto asks, did you read about the shooting in Dagestan? I did not. Give me more details, please. DTC writes, the words are from the narrator, but the program is CCCP. Probably. Hold on. Okay, something's gone wrong here with ZFileZilla. Okay, let me see here. Give me a moment. One. Okay, Wicked Wally writes, okay, just getting most news website, Orthodox priest killed by among a group of 15 police officers, a priest out of the 15 police officers, priest killed by those killed by a group of gunmen. Wow. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Eternal memory for those among the Orthodox. That's really tragic. Unfortunately, from what I understand, Dagestan is a pretty heavy Muslim area. And unfortunately, it seems like the plan that the Moscow Patriarchate has in that area is to appease the Muslims, not to preach to them. And frankly, that should be their priority. They should be trying to convert them. And frankly, if they respond with violence, then they should be responded to with police. Let me see here. And so, okay, so let me try this. I've got way too many things open now. I'm getting kind of confused. Okay, let me see here. All right, DTC has found a treasure trove of interesting pictures that demonstrate just how craven the MP was to the Soviet Union. Let me see here. And Gladatus Bob writes, from your interview with Lofton, it seems like your case rests on the idea that there was a unanimous consensus patrum on faith, morals, topics like Trinity, icons, etc. Did Lofton give you church father citations after the talk that he said he would? No, he never did. They never do. And I should add that that's actually been the standard Orthodox practice as well. In World Orthodoxy, Craig Trulia uses the consensus patrum techniques very effectively and produced a fantastic book using it. There's a few of them, so it's not uniquely just the true Orthodox position. It was the original Orthodox position. The fact that now in World Orthodoxy, a lot of people who are really popular were focused primarily on Western philosophy and papism before they became to Orthodoxy. That changes nothing about what the historical usage was. That's just not how we didn't walk around making philosophical postulates like Socratic simps. It's just not what we did. So the answer is no. Lofton never did, and he never would, because he knows that he's wrong. But these are common modernist accusations that Lofton made. The Orthodoxy doesn't know what to do about birth control. Yeah, we do. Maybe like St. Justin Martyr was actually an adoptionist. This is all stuff you read in modern critiques, modern writers, not going back to the fathers, etc., etc., etc. It's always the same. Islamic State attacks in Russia haven't been unusual, so most likely they're ultimately responsible. Well, it's very possible. It's very possible that Islamic State may be behind it. Islamic State doesn't really have a state anymore, so they're kind of limited in what they can do. Which, by the way, is going to be part of the history I was mentioning, Gladanis, because one of the things that Islam does not have anymore that they did have in 1910 was at least they had the dying, failing Ottoman Empire. Let me see here. Okay, so I'll try 20. I'm still trying to connect to the cafe. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. And so, but not as Bob. Do you accept the reception theory? It seems like after the Council of Florence, that is the only possible road to go to for the Orthodox. When you say the reception theory, as I understand it, because it seems to be some modern thing like the reception theory, it makes it sound like it's some sort of thing that wasn't decided on yet. The Orthodox have always received the councils that are Orthodox as God breathed. That's how I would phrase that. If that sounds like reception theory to you, then I guess we do, except we don't believe anything is a theory. We believe in truth and in revealed truth. I would think that somebody arguing after the Council of Florence that is the only possible road. So I guess it sounds like you're a Roman Catholic. But did you know that the Roman Catholics in Florence referred to Florence as the Eighth Ecumenical Council? How'd they get that wrong? So in any case, if you haven't gotten a chance to, I highly suggest the Papacy Answered in 5 Minutes video that we did last week. Just to snap out of it. You got to get out of this concept of this Pope thing. It's just not worth it. Right? He says, I am not a Catholic. Okay, well then, I don't understand why you care about Florence. In any case, all right, so I'm actually in the thing. In the cafe thing. Okay, that's not it. Home, maybe? Okay, I'm too far in. Let me see if I open this. Hold on. Function folder. This is going to be kind of a treat because if I get this working, I will actually go live on the frosinoscafe.com and I will start working on it in real time because it's something that I had to do. So let me just see here. Let's go back to comments and let me see. Okay, I'm not Jorge. You're starting to get silly. Either come on and challenge, or you gotta stop. In many debates, people forget that two sides can be right about the other being false. Oh, that's very true. It's very, very true. Two wrong people can both argue that the other person is wrong. The real question is there a right person? And unfortunately, if you don't have that, what's the word? That sort of, let me just see if I can phrase this right. If you don't have that operating principle that Christ truly established a church, then from my perspective, your opinion is meaningless. So that's how. Let me see here. How did the avocado diet go, Father? I haven't tried it yet. Ortho Twitter was going crazy the other day. Let me see here. They were talking about a unified church and race mixing. I'm good with a unified church. I don't have any real opinion on race mixing. I don't understand what they have to do with each other. I don't like the unified church means everyone becomes Orthodox. Let me see here. Thoughts on Artak's accusation of Cyprianism in the GOCK? I would say that one could make the argument that Artak could be accused of Cyprianism in the Artak. Let's see here. I was looking through old Soviet Victory Day footage and noticed they bring in communists from around the world. It's like a communist mecca. They actually still do that. There's a thing, I think it's called World Youth Day or something, where they literally gather all the communist youth from different countries and they go to Moscow. That's a real thing. To celebrate the victory of communism. Isn't that every day? Cringe. I'm not sure which one is cringe, but so strange. What is the Ortho Twitter? It's basically it's all the Orthodox on Twitter is the simplest way of putting on it, but there's also big popular accounts like the Movers and Shaker accounts, and they'll say something edgy, and then everyone jumps on and they're like, yeah, I support it, or no, I don't support it. I wish I was baptized one day. I've been like this for 5 years in my basement. No one helps me. We are here, my friend, to help you. We are here to get you baptized. If you have not been baptized, we want to baptize you. We are tired of hearing excuses. It's probably better if you don't know. Oh yeah, Ortho Twitter is it's as the kids say, it's posting cold. Christ did establish his church. Both the Orthodox and Catholic have a very rigid, specific understanding of a visible church on earth. In my opinion, both are wrong. Well, in that case, your opinion is that the church is invisible. That's basically the underpinning of ecumenism. Ultimately, their belief is that the church is invisible, so it could include non-Christians. It could include some Christians, some different Christians, maybe some Buddhists. Maybe the church includes Buddhists. Once you say the church on earth is invisible, there are certain logical conclusions that have to follow. I welcome you to come on if you want to discuss it. We'd be more than glad to have that discussion. But in reality, once you say that Christ didn't really establish a church on the apostles, on the foundation of the apostles and prophets, we're coming very close to saying the church isn't real at all, in which case Christ is a liar. Yeah, it's a total waste of time. It is, absolutely. As always, this is the live Q&A show. So feel free to call, to use the link at the top of the chat, comment, or ask questions. All you have to do is just click on it and you'll see. Let me see here. Jorge once again says, discuss Torah. I'll discuss it with you if you come on the line. Sure. Can you speak more about GOCK? Currently inquired, but I've also seen OCO Romanian website accuse them of Cyprianism and breaking from them because of that. Oh boy. That was kind of what we were gonna talk about this topic. Yeah, what is RelicGate? I'm intrigued. I was gonna touch upon this topic. And it seems like everyone's like, come on, Sweden, say it, get the fight going. Okay, look, first off, I'm gonna put it this way. We're gonna talk about RelicGate because it's bad. It is bad and it needs to be addressed. What we should understand, however, is that most of the people who are most responsible, lol, true, most of the people who are most responsible in this situation, the ones who can do the most in this situation, are not people talking on the internet. They're just not. What needs to happen is very simple. Let me explain what I feel like it's deep beating a dead horse at this point. Yes and no. I'm going to explain. It could look like it's beating a dead horse if you are, like, say, having an argument on a Discord about it, or having an argument on the cafe about it. It just seems pointless. What's the point of bringing this up? Well, the deeper question relates to whether we, as Orthodox Christians who join true bishops, while also, trying to do this from a position of conscience, see something that is a betrayal of conscience. Oh, okay, I see. More so the accusation. Yeah, I agree. That is a dead horse. But this particular one with RelicGate, and RelicGate is a pretty unofficial term. I don't know who came up with it. It sounds pretty funny, but the story as it goes is like this, and this was, I believe, in the past 2 weeks, where a relic of a saint who was from a locality in Greece, the GOC under Archbishop Kallinikos had a large relic, etc. And the new calendarists in this city asked for one of the bishops in that area, I guess, who was holding the relic, for a loan, to loan the relic. And the GOC bishop said, okay, we'll loan the relic. This has caused absolute chaos, at least among online true Orthodox. Salvavis, I think our dearest brother Christopheros came up with RelicGate. Yeah, I don't know who came up with it, but it is a scandal, and it's a scandal that needs to be addressed. It's not a scandal that should just be brushed away. I'm going to say that again. It is not a scandal that should be brushed away. The fact that they the new calendars did return the relics, if they actually returned the relics, I'll get to that in a second, is good. That's a positive. However, the church's job is to guard relics. And I'm going to be dead and harsh and honest with you guys. If we claim to be true Orthodox, and oftentimes we don't recognize other true Orthodox, and we'd be like, maybe watch the relics around that one, because, they might steal them. Like, we would say that because we worry about our relics. But then to give it to the very people, even for a loan, to give it to the very people who killed our forefathers and ancestors, to lend it even. How could you even trust? You can't trust other true Orthodox. How can you possibly trust the new calendarists to hold on to this? Let me see here. Curious as to what your thoughts are of ROAC trading relics with the MP. I don't know. I don't have any thoughts on it. I remember when the MP tried to take their relics right out of the cathedral. It was a full body relic of St. Euphemia, I believe, of Suzdal. Euphrosyne of Suzdal. So I don't have a memory of them trading relics with the MP. I've never heard that. It sounds more like a hostage situation. I mean, these are the bodies of our saints, so in that sense. But I don't. What do you call it? I don't think that these two situations are analogous. If there was a real trade of relics with the MP, which I wouldn't understand the logic as to why, and I'd like to actually see the evidence that they did, then I'd have to assess it from there. But that would just mean two parties are wrong. That wouldn't mean that now it's okay because ROAC did it. No, that's still terrible. All of these things end up smashing our witness to pieces. They make our credibility look awful. Give me a second. Hold on. Hold on. Just gotta take a little picture. And so, it's I think it's terrible if that's true, but I don't believe it's true. I've never seen any evidence of that happening. I know the MP try to take their relics physically, so no, I don't buy that. But in the end, let me see here. Okay. All right, so I'm doing technical support while at the same time talking about it. Okay, I think I got that fixed. Okay, so let's continue on. So basically, these are, I'm sorry to say this, but the New Calendar State Church of Greece has persecuted the true Orthodox of Greece for literally the past 100 years. Like, why would you even lend them relics? How could you even have any assurance that they'd be giving you true relics back? How would you not know that a year later you decide to open your reliquary and realize, hey, there's just sand in here? Because the people who killed your ancestors really are trustworthy people. And I'm going to say the loudest part, because I've been saying the quiet parts that everyone's been talking on the internet. The people who have the most responsibility behind this, to take care of this, should be priests and bishops. And frankly, this should be sent to them. And they should not say, let's not talk about this. They should be writing their bishops. They should be writing their synods. And they need to be saying, quite frankly, this was wrong. And this can't happen again. That's what needs to happen. If we, as true Orthodox, have been so careful that we don't even sometimes respect each other's baptisms, which is really, really awful, then it is absolutely ludicrous to say, well, the New Calendar Church of Greece is an honorable body. The hell they are. And really, we shouldn't accept that. We should be upset. You have every right to be upset. And I feel bad for people who are like, well, my priest says I can't talk about this. Your priest should be ashamed of himself, and you should tell him that. That's what should happen. Okay. Death Compromise, you have a link. It's precisely the opposite. It's because they believe in the visible false church, they can make it ecumenical. No, because if you're claiming that the church is invisible, then nobody can know where it is. And if nobody can know where it is, then the promises of Christ haven't been kept, because the apostles were quite visible. The church organization they created was quite visible. It claimed to have the inspiration of the Holy Ghost. Today is Pentecost, the day we believe the Holy Spirit landed on the apostles. To say, well, that we don't really know where the church is that's a terrible reading of Scripture. I'm sorry. And I don't think it's a tenable one. I welcome you to come right on and just click the link and we'll talk about it. It's been a while. Let me look. Diamond versus NFT date will break YouTube. Okay. That's never happening. And stop believing it's going to happen. The Diamonds are afraid of any legitimate Orthodox debater. They are not honest people. They do not deal honestly. I realize that they're way famous and stuff among the tradcasts, etc., but I don't want my name next to their debate because they're such dishonest people. We talked to Father Mark about this issue, and he brought up the ROAC traded relics to the MP in order to try to prevent them from seizing all of them. Well, maybe they were trying to negotiate because they didn't want to lose all their relics, but the MP definitely went after them anyway, so there went that strategy. Some compared the event to Brother Jose Munoz's letting even heterodox worship the evil icon, but I don't think he ever let it out of his sight. He did not. He always held on to it to his death. Perhaps the thought is by lending the relics to grace contained therein could open the hearts of those venerating to true orthodoxy. Why? Why couldn't they have walked it over themselves? Couldn't they have stood there guarding the relic while it was being venerated? Couldn't they have, crazy idea, put the relic in their closest local church and open the door for everyone else to venerate it. Like, these are not that hard. This is like, it's like, that's the worst possible option to choose. Anyone have further reading refuting the accusation of Cyprianism in the GOCK? Again, inquiring right now. There is no... The Cyprianism thing is pretty frustrating for me, because I did explain it. I actually did explain it to someone on the in my email, who's in the chat, and unfortunately, a lot of it is taking advantage of poor information in the past and applying it to now. Cyprianism wasn't really formally a thing as Cyprianism. The ecclesiological resistance to, thing that Cyprian had in 1984, people weren't really calling it Cyprianism then, like it was a heresy. When you said Cyprianite, it was because you were under Cyprian. In the same way, if you said Chiusite, you were under Chrysostomos Chiusis. In the same way, if you said Macariite or, any of the other ones, Auxentians. The point is, people use names of bishops, etc., to delineate their differences. Cyprian was never formally treated until much later as a heresy by other true Orthodox, and unfortunately, I believe that some of the motivations on that were poor. I would start by writing a book paper that can be sent to patriarchs, etc. No, I think after 100 years, it's a waste of time. The Patriarch of Antioch, the Patriarch John, was complaining about true Orthodox in Lebanon about 2 months ago. That's what happens. What happens is, as you continue to ignore the problem and ignore the heresy, others will come and rise to replace you. And that is what we are slowly seeing happening in Orthodoxy right now, is that more and more, as people realize that the true Orthodox are the Orthodox, the problem solves itself. Unfortunately, this is kind of the way it's been since time immemorial. Let me see here. You're right. I'm not sure here. What are you looking for? Any document, website, book, etc. Everyone who has God's love in his heart and is in union with him is part of the church. No, that's not even what the Bible says. No. Like, this is, by the way, I don't know, you said that you're not an ecumenist, but this is an ecumenist line. Everyone who has God's love in his heart and is in union with him is part of the church. Well, how do you know that you have God's love in your heart? Like, how do you know it's God's love? So let me see here. Could you explain the heavy ethnic focus in the OT and in Matthew 15:24? Thanks. Okay, well, we're not throwing softballs today. That's great. So let's first look at what Matthew 15:24. I can almost guess what verse this is. Let's see. Matthew 1. Is it the dog verse? Yep, it's the dog verse. There have been a number of fathers who have commented on it. I highly recommend you read them. Christ was ministering to the people of Israel with basically their final opportunity to receive union with God, as they had largely abandoned the covenant by its nature and had replaced it with a covenant based on law. I think we're in the carrot phase of GOC persecution in Greece. I think the problem is that some expect only the stick, so they slipped up when the new calendar has pretended to be friendly. That doesn't excuse them. That doesn't excuse them at all. And the lay people who are mad, the priests who are mad, need to tell the bishops that that's not an excuse, so that the bishops can tell the erring bishop what he did was wrong. That's what needs to happen. With the rise of GOCK and absorption of Cyprianites, why is Cyprianism still of interest? That's a good question. And it is because of the fact that with the union, increased communications led to people in, like the Bulgarians and the Romanians, to ask more questions about what their teachings and beliefs were. What was the purpose of the union? Why that in some cases the Bulgarians, Romanians discovered that they did not fully understand what was happening in Greece or in Russia. And so ultimately that became an issue, especially during COVID, unfortunately. So Let me see here. Do I have a favorite homily on the Feast of Pentecost? I don't. To be honest, that will probably be something for next year when I actually do research on this Sunday. Let me see here. Herman, if you follow Torah, you will know line of Esau. I might hop on the stream here soon. You can if you'd like, Sava. Jorge, I'm literally about to ban you from the chat because this is getting stupid. Like, all you're doing is just repeating Torah, 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 Torah. And guess what? If you want to do that, that's fine. I'm going to just put you in timeout. I don't know how long he's going to be in timeout, but I've had enough. I honestly, it's I don't usually do that, but it's been like 3 streams now where it's just ruining the discussion for everyone else. So, what fathers are best to learn from this topic? I would actually go with St. Augustine and St. John's commentaries on the gospel itself that you presented. You'd be surprised at how much you can learn from those. Let me see here. I don't see any other comments. I guess Jorge was being a prolific poster. Unfortunately, that is just not how I roll. If you want to come on the show, you can. If you want to ask questions, you can. If you want to challenge me, you can. If you want to just gum up my chat space because you think it's funny, get off. I don't need that. So let me see. Thank you. In any case, so that's where we are today. And this is kind of why I brought up RelicGate to begin with. I realize it is a controversial topic. I realize it is an upsetting topic. And I realize, especially if you are in the involved hierarchy, it's an embarrassing topic. But that's how we learn. My entire church life has been embarrassing topics. Hello, Savo. We see you're here. How are you doing?
Hello.
God bless you.
Thank you. Thank God I'm doing well. I'm exhausted, having worked all day. But it's just thought jumping on the stream. But
yeah, I mean, you had a question for me earlier. I don't know if I managed to respond to it or not.
Did I put a question in the chat? I don't remember.
No. I think it was in my email. I don't.
Oh yeah, well that's been dealt with. But that's
okay. Yeah, then I did it. I definitely answered that.
I know. So, yeah. I know everyone's going to get a laugh out of this, but I came on here to talk about goblins.
Okay. I didn't have a set topic choice. Let's talk about goblins. What would you like to talk about goblins?
There's an ongoing goblin crisis in Zimbabwe.
A goblin crisis.
There's hundreds of reported attacks, sightings. If you look up Zimbabwe goblins, you'll start seeing lots of articles of goblins attacking people, and it's been something I've been investigating for the last few days.
Zimbabwe goblins. Okay, I'll take the bait. According to recent reports, goblins have been terrorizing police officers in Zimbabwe, leading to the abandonment of a police station in the Gowambe area of Bulawayo. Okay, we have any pictures of these goblins?
There was one picture I found where someone claimed they beheaded a goblin. I saw some pretty interesting headlines, like house explosion attributed to goblins, man killed after summoning goblins. Some interesting headlines.
Well, but, I mean, I hate to say it. Well, I mean, if they beheaded a goblin, then obviously it's immortal. It's mortal. So that would rule out that it's like a demon. Although I think that demons could be involved, but maybe it's like some kind of demonized monkey or something.
But yeah, I've seen some interesting things here. I can't tell if this is like mass demonic apparitions or if it's. I sent it to my brother in the flesh, and he thinks this might just be some elaborate thing to blame an ethnic minority, because it is Africa after all. And or there's just some other weird thing going on.
Okay. Well, let me get through some of these comments that have popped up. I have a hard time believing the Romanians actually broke communion with the GOCK over Cyprianism when they've been in communion with them for years. All of a sudden, it's an issue. I think one of the things that I remember, if I remember correctly, is that it was their response to COVID that was kind of the main thing, and then this just became some convenient add-on. Goblin Gate? Maybe. Okay, lots of goblins chats. The Zimbabwe Goblins, the soccer team. That sounds like Zimbabwe Goblins. It's like Imagine Dragons or something. Something like Chupacabra. What's a goon to a goblin? I read Seraphim books beside it. What are some good books to discuss TO? I would suggest probably The Struggle Against Ecumenism. I would suggest Moss's History of True Orthodoxy. Let me see here. There's a similar story out of somewhere in South America about a half a year ago. Father Boniface said they fed the monkeys tainted food. Now, that's possible.
That actually is possible.
Yeah. Breaking over the reaction to Kuf makes a lot more sense. Right, but, it's the nature of political divisions and unifications. Emerson Mnangagwa has the situation under control. Is goblin a code word for something like gnome and ninja? No. I think they're talking about actual goblins, like little gremlin things.
Yeah, they're described as being small black creatures by the locals, and I realize they're all black over. Did I just say that out loud? Okay, the small black creatures. So Father Boniface's theory that they're monkeys could be onto something.
There are black monkeys. Okay, and so good reaction or bad reaction. Rokana seemed to put out a good document reaction to it. I assume you're talking about the COVID thing. From what I understood, the GOCK's reaction, and I've been told Metropolitan Demetrius's position by Metropolitan Demetrius has been somewhat mixed. So, from what I understand, there was nothing actually imposed on the parishes. However, individual bishops administered it and handled it very differently. Blue Hill says, Zimbabwe is a cursed nation full of communism and voodoo. I wouldn't be surprised if those guys are beset by demons en masse, but they're also massive codeine addicts, so who knows? I mean, yeah, mass delusion is very possible if everyone's on drugs. Well, zombie monkeys with AIDS. Oh, okay.
I mentioned it's the photos, but I know I've read somewhere that after the revolution in Russia and communism, demonic apparitions became way more common. And Zimbabwe is a communist country, so I wonder if goblin-related incidents is just related to communism.
All right, people getting crazy in the chat with it. Fentanyl addiction. Okay. Anyway, all right. We don't know. We take no official position on the goblins. What's your next question?
I mainly just came on here to talk about goblins. I'm sorry, Father.
No worries. That's fine. Thanks. If you come up with anything else, just pop on back, okay?
Will do.
All right. Sounds good, Sava. See you in the chat. All right. So that was fun. We've got, let me see here, and let's see if there's, okay, remember that you can call in using the link at the top of the chat, comment, or ask questions in the chat. And so, if you want to pop in, you can always just leave comments on the side, but we prefer if you want to join in. And we do accept super chats now. I'm mentioning this to see if someone will give me one, because one I could really use. We could really use money. Actually, we're heading towards the end of the month. I've started doing DoorDash on the side. People have asked me about the incense. The general response I've gotten is that it was good, but it doesn't last properly long enough. And I'm not sure I can fix that without radically changing the process. Whoa. How's he back? He came back just to... What the heck? All right, I'm putting you in timeout again because you didn't learn the first time. What the heck? Okay. Hello, Jorge. Goodbye, Jorge. Wow, I hope he's gone. Doesn't look like StreamYard is letting me do that. But, no matter how much he wants to, unless he comes on, I am not talking about Torah. At least not his version of Torah. Anyway, so other than that, as I mentioned, feel free to call in using the link at the top of the chat, comment, or ask questions in the chat. I am going to go, as usual, to just about 90 minutes. So we're just hitting the second hour of the chat. And so basically, as I mentioned earlier, It's been basically a year since I decided to go full time on this. Okay, and let me see here. Austin Walker says, "Hi, I'm new to learning about this whole genuine Orthodox thing. What are your personal thoughts on people like Jay Dyer, Kyle, etc.?" That's a good question. It's actually a much more common question than you think. I understand, especially as many people are learning about Orthodoxy from the internet, that, it is a valid question. My personal thoughts on Jay Dyer are very simple. I have, if you noticed, and if you look in the channel, I did engage him once last year, right when all this crazy fun started. Apparently, someone got me onto his server, and we talked for about 20 minutes total. And at first it went well, but his crowd was very hostile. They really wanted him to beat me up, and it didn't happen. Then, he took it like personally and told me to never call back again. My thoughts on people like Jay Dyer is they're doing a job, they're doing a service. I don't know that they're operating in the best interest of Orthodoxy, but I believe they think they are. Kyle is much newer. I don't have much to say. I haven't reviewed a lot of his stuff. People were asking me about people like Gene. I have a lot of respect for Gene, and I have a lot of respect for Craig Trulia. I have a lot of respect for a lot of people. I'm a big fan. The Crucible, where that hosted our debate, just hit 100,000 subscribers. That's clearly because they had us on. No, I'm kidding. But the point is that, so we have we have some positives. Like, I've been on, like David Patrick Harry. I've been on his show once or twice. He's also had Bishop Maximus on of the GOCK. So yeah, it's kind of been, it's been a mix. Jay Dyer personally doesn't like me. I don't know why. Kyle doesn't really know me. I don't know Kyle. But a lot of other people in the space, we do talk. We've kept in touch, or we, occasionally say hi to each other. That's about it. Try to remain as polite as possible. But what it comes down to is that personalities do not make orthodoxy. The confession of faith does. And this is part of the reason why we have to be very, very careful as we discern. The genuine Orthodox simply teach what Orthodoxy teaches. That is the whole thing. If we suddenly add some new teaching, like give me a Slavie or something, we're no longer Orthodox. So we can't do that. We have to preserve the teaching as was held by the fathers to the present day. Did the NCs even have an Apostles' Fast this year? No, because they didn't. Because the Apostles, no, there's no. It's impossible, because if Pentecost is today, then the fast has to begin on the 30th. But on the new calendar, the Feast of Saints Peter and Paul is on the 29th. Oh, hey, Super Chat. Thank you. I appreciate your festal gift, and you're in our prayers. You know that. So yeah, there's no fast this year. No Apostles' Fast. The Apostles, not exactly, but it is a disgrace. I'm shocked. I didn't even realize that. I was just happy to have a short Apostles' Fast, and I'm like, oh, whoa. I think it was Archbishop of America said, to those who are actually Orthodox will always keep the Apostles' Fast. Okay. Either Archbishop of America or Father Seraphim, or any of the other saints who followed the Apostles' Fast like every year of its existence until 1924. Jay Dyer versus the OCA. I think that's already happened. Gene is also a common viewer in these streams. Hope he comes to True Faith someday. Well, I like Gene a lot. I think we get along well. And again, because of your kindness, I'm putting it up again. Blessed Feast, Father. This is what I call a good supporter of the channel. And so everyone donate just like him right now. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, the point is that, believe me, that helped a lot. Basically, if people want to understand a rundown of how kind of my reduced cost living is going, basically I pay a few hundred a month, less than 500 in a mortgage. We have a few hundred in bills. Food. It's like, and bills, so that's basically it. Let me see here. I'm sorry, can't find it. It is the old style Orthodox Church in Romania, but it's not in English. I couldn't find the website. Are you talking about the old? Hold on. Give me one moment. I believe the website you're looking for, DTC, is. Let me see here. It's still vecchi.ro. So, what's this? All right. Sava says, if I donate, do I get merits and a reduced sentence in the perk? How much are we talking here? I mean, I've been known to write an indulgence certificate or two over time. No, I'm just kidding. I would never do that. Unfortunately, we're not Roman Catholics. So he's actually making a joke reference to the 5-minute takedown of Roman Catholicism. If you're a Roman Catholic and you haven't seen it yet, please feel free to watch that. Okay, thank you very much. And so we're in the last 24 minutes. Whoa, okay, I wasn't expecting it. Thank you, Jonathan. Okay, blessed feast to you too. I really appreciate that. So that's awesome. Thank you so much, both of you. So wow, okay, that's good. That helps. I really appreciate it. And so we're here again for another 20. We're here again for another. We've got here 24 minutes to go if no one pops in. Oh yeah, Sava says you should subscribe. You should subscribe, so I'm not the only one that the goblins are. Oh, who's this? Baljit. Greetings, Baljit.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh, well, we do a show every Sunday where we discuss apologetics. We discuss Orthodox Christianity. Are you an Orthodox Christian?
Dude, I'm a professional hacker. I want to talk to you.
Oh, you're a professional hacker, eh?
Do you want to give me credit card information? I will give you a lot of money.
You're doing a terrible job. This is the weakest. I mean, do you even watch the streams of the guys who break those hackers? I mean, first off, I'm not even a senior citizen, so I'm not that easy to fool. Second off, I mean, I don't know what your thinking is here. Obviously, you're joking.
Look at the chat. It is a link to the safest site in the world, government approved.
Personalized donos. Not the first ones, but these are great. They are helpful. Give me a second. Okay, www.scam.com.
Very safe, government approved.
Oh boy. Okay, donations keep these streams flowing. Thank you, Father Simeon. Very true. This is cringe. Yeah, it's cringe.
Just
this
press
is an awful accent. They don't even believe that you're a real Indian.
Dude,
okay, Jorge, you gotta go.
Better believe it. I come from India. They better believe it.
Yeah, this is the fakest accent I've ever heard.
Hey,
Jorge's inside man. For all we know, this is actually Jorge.
You're messing with the wrong guy. You're barking at the wrong tree.
Yeah.
You're barking at the wrong tree.
What is going on this stream tonight? Okay, well,
you
I'm
better
here. I'll make the deal.
Stop it. Stop it.
All right, you got it. Anyway, so this is what is going on with the stream today. People are out for hijacking today. We are at war, ladies and gentlemen. We're at war. We're fighting against all sorts of evil that is trying to take over society at large. Okay, I'll stop that. Yeah, he's gone. Howdy, Father. My wife is a German speaker reader who's interested in reading old manuscripts. Is Bishop Enoch still going over some German documents? In fact, he probably is. I haven't seen it. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. No, I haven't seen it. Sorry, I'm reading the chat at the same time. Bishop Enoch will probably do that. It may be something he does on his own channel, or it may be something, I don't know if he's going to do that here. And so let me see here. My Indian impression is better than this guy's. Get rid of him. Embarrassing. He needed some Target gift cards, I think. It's just, that was like literally I click on the chat to see the link he's talking about, and it's literally www.scam.com. I mean, I'm like, this is like the word. This isn't even funny. Oh, well, thank you. I like to think I can turn it on and off when I need to. Dude, why you block me? I think we both know that, fella. We're breaking the conditioning. Why you block me? Why did you block me? I'm going to have to block you in chat, buddy. Because your impression is turning the frogs gay. Roger that. I'll reach out later. Thank you, Nicola, and, God bless. Orthodox, you better stop messing with me. I am an angry man. I am strong guy. Very scary. Don't laugh at me. I can stand over one. Yeah, you better stop. Yeah, okay. How about you better stop? This you're kind of it does need some work. It definitely it wasn't. I'd give it a 7 out of 10 Indian accent. It certainly didn't cross the line into believable, which is I put 8 and above. Okay, so all right. I'm not putting up any more of Bajit's things until maybe if he sends a donation, I'll put up one of his his chats. But Jonathan Britt says Baljit is a goblin in the flesh. Sava says maybe a 5 out of 10. Let's meet in the middle. Say 6 out of 10. A goblin from Zimbabwe. Okay, Jonathan, you're barking at the wrong tree. I'm not sure. Okay. Oh, I said I wouldn't put anything up from this guy. What am I gonna do? Am I gonna? Mother Sava mentions goblins and we get raided. Can you donate a Walmart gift card? You guys, okay. It's probably my fault, LOL. Probably, who knows? I mean, just blame Sava. Why not? The gnomes are behind this. I think it's the gnomes too. They call me the big man in the scam office. All right, you know what? That has put me over the edge. You are now timed out. So long, Bajit. I've had enough. Wow, this is 2 people. I've never been on a show where I've had to ban 2 people. Because, I mean, then I might have, only, 2 people watching. No, I'm kidding. We have a few people watching, but we haven't hit anything particularly substantial. Reader, the goblins are trying to censor the stream. Your blessing, may God bless you in the Father, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. We're breaking the conditioning. I don't know. Maybe the air conditioning is hot in here. But in any case, so let's see here. Other than that, it seems like I'm going to try again and ask people to call in using the link at the top of the chat, comment or ask questions. I mean, I'm hoping that it's not like something ridiculous. But yeah, this was a wacky stream this time around. And goblins have taken over Zimbabwe. They're using government resources to take us down. Oh boy, oh boy. Well, in any case, it's been kind of crazy. So let's get back to this lovely thingamabob. And we're in the forum. I'm checking. Yeah, this is it. Okay. I am going to get to work on the cafe live. So what I'm going to do, see, is I'm going to go to the instructions that I need, see, to get this block gets in. Okay, let's see here. Documentation, yeah. Upload folder of that file to the. Okay. Okay, so this sounds fairly straightforward. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the downloaded text. Let's see here. Downloaded plugin I need. I'm going to have to do 2 of these plugins, it seems. So here goes nothing. Okay. System tools. Where's my file folder? Okay. Downloads. Here. Zip. Okay. All right, so let me see here. Okay. Apparently, I missed some things while I was overseas. Where can we find your sentence prayer book? It is on lulu.com. Okay, some guy named Salam. Hello. What is your question?
You better stop messing with me.
See ya. Anyway, so he's banned. I'm not even gonna keep him at this point, because if he's gonna do stuff like that, it's not even worth my time. Yep, I perma-banned Jorge since he's pretty persistent. So yeah, go to lulu.com and you want to look up Western Rite Orthodox Prayer Book. How is that Archgoblin Jorge evading the bans? I was actually putting him on timeout. So my guess is he was just patiently waiting to start over. I was trying to do it nicely, but didn't work. I don't follow the Synagogue of Satan's. Yes, the goblins and their lies. Aside from Canon 15 and weird prophecies, is there harm in reading books from traditional, or for lack of a better word, elders or saints? Sophrony of Essex, elder from a true orthodox? Yeah, it's spiritually unhealthy because these are men who purport to be spiritual leaders and they could be giving you false information. And in fact, in the case of Elder Ephraim, that did happen. Same with Sophrony of Essex. My suggestion would be nobody has really read the Holy Fathers in great detail, with the exception of a few very saintly people. There's plenty to read there. Like, I don't understand why people need they need the latest edition. If you do, I mean, I suggest looking up stuff that is put out by modern, saintly people. The stuff from Saint Philaret, Archbishop of Verki, etc. Can you talk about the concept of holy wisdom? I know Hagia Sophia was dedicated to this, but I was wondering why. Well, the search of wisdom you find in the Old Testament, also in the book of Proverbs, in terms of the anthropomorphized wisdom. But there is always some confusion with Hagia Sophia because we do have Saint Sophia, and her three daughters, Faith, Hope, and Charity. So the point is that there's often some confusion there. But I would say that with the love of wisdom is ultimately, I think, kind of a central goal in the process of going through salvation. We seek from going from the unwise to the wise. We seek from going from the most bestial to the most spiritual of beings. So it's very, very difficult in that sense. The Jesus prayer and watchfulness things seem helpful. For example, I would say they're helpful insofar as you don't know who these people are. Like, if they are, I mean, I've found that you, unfortunately, when you start mixing up, like, well, this guy's all right, almost certainly you're introducing some kind of leaven into your bread that you don't want. It's just not something I would suggest. Honestly, if you haven't get the book Saint Ignatius Brianchaninov on the Jesus Prayer, I agree. It is a fantastic book. It's a book for all people. So is the Arena. Lives of the Optin Elders is really good too. There's stuff about mental prayer in there. Indeed. Orthodox. So what are your thoughts on parish priests practicing the revelation of thoughts with their parishioners? The title itself sounds concerning. Are you saying the priest is trying to get detailed into the confessions, like what are you thinking and so on and so forth? If so, I don't think that's a good thing. I think that was something that began with the whole Orthodox psychotherapy thing that Romanitas promoted, and then Metropolitan Hierotheos Vlachos began to promote. And the idea is that the priest is the ultimate psychiatrist. I think there are too many avenues open for manipulation there. I think that I don't know how productive it is spiritually for people. I think that one can have a good talk with a priest that will be helpful. But I don't think that we have to go through such strange formalities or trying to really get into someone's head. Okay. Let me see. Just checked Lulu. Found your prayer book, but a lot of stuff from a St. Melangels Orthodox Church also popped up. Are they with you or a different one? They're not with us. And we're not, I wouldn't say technically a Western Rite group because we have both rights, but I have no idea who they are. Let me just see if I can find that. Okay, let me see here. And we have someone here. Okay, someone on the stage has, let me see here. Hello?
Hi, how are you, my friend?
Hi.
I just wanted to say sorry.
Okay,
Do you forgive?
of course.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye. Oh, I guess he felt bad. Nice. Okay. God, one safety and salvation. It's gonna be a no from me. I'm still looking for this. This Saint Mel. I'm gonna say no simply because I have no idea who they are. Saint Menengel's Orthodox Church. The Saint Melengel Prayer Book. Why do you demand me to log in, Lulu? $39. A Christian devotion prayer book. No, the mission of these communities. I have no idea who this is. By St. Melangel's Orthodox Diptych. Yeah. Never heard of them. I'm trying to Google, but in any case, unfortunately, independent Orthodox churches using the Western Rite are extremely common. St. Melangel's Orthodox Church. Let me see here. It's a. Okay. Funky worship. This is with the blessing of Gregory of Arles. Okay. I don't know who these people are. I hope that they're in some way, shape, or form canonical, but I wouldn't be able to recommend a book I've never seen. So I do apologize. I can't feel they're under the Orthodox Church of the Gauls. Okay, Reader John. Hello, Reader John. God bless you. How was your trip?
Oh man, let me tell you some stories about traveling. Just don't ever miss a flight overseas.
Oh yeah.
But I actually had a question. Since apparently I missed everything. What's RelicGate?
Oh boy. In short form, basically, one of the true Orthodox bishops lent out relics to a new calendar bishop, and the ensuing brouhaha over that.
What do you mean lent out?
Like lent them out.
Like gave them to the new calendar?
Yeah, and just on a promise they'd give it back, which they supposedly did.
Wow, that's very charitable.
That's yeah. I had some other choice language for it, but
well, you're a priest. I'm just a reader.
All right. Let me see here. We're getting to next comments. No separate practice in the pseudo where monastics would reveal their thoughts to their spiritual fathers in monasteries. Oh, well, yeah, that's monastics. Yeah, of course, that's fine. I don't think it should be done among lay people. Would World Orthodox need to disown, in a manner of speaking, their elders and desacralize their saints in order for unification to occur? If so, it sounds as if reunification will never happen on Earth. Yeah, that I agree completely. Unfortunately, this is the reality that we are dealing with. We have reached, in many cases, we've reached that kind of crossing the Rubicon on the part of the leadership of World Orthodoxy. They're not interested in reunification. They are interested in reunion or union with Rome. They're interested in union with false religions. They're interested in union with their Soviet histories, but they are not interested in union with the truth. And they would rather stomp us out. And they have been trying to stomp us out for decades, and it hasn't worked. So the church goes on with or without them. Repentance or replacement. Those are the choices. And unfortunately, you're correct in assuming it sounds like they're going with replacement. But practicing it at the parish level and the priest isn't illumined. Absolutely not. No. That ended on a good note. Good end. No, they're not with us. Yeah, I have no idea who they're with. Have you ever heard of this Saint Sarah, the RCC canonized, that's supposedly interpolated as Kali or such? Oh, please tell me you're kidding. No, I haven't. Found them. They're under the Orthodox Church of the Gauls. Father Simeon points out, look only for St. Gregory Press. That is correct. Are the only publishing house that we have that is officially for our official liturgical documents is St. Gregory's Press. Yeah. Gross, the Gauls are Monophysites. Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay. Yeah, so that's true. All of that is correct. So, in any case, I'm going to go in I'm going to just put this up for a good 5 minutes as we're going to start closing up. Well, I guess I have to put it up for 15 minutes. So we got the 15-minute warning up, which starts now. I'm going to start early at 1 and 25 minutes, 1:40. Any questions you want to try to get in here, please post them in the chat or join. In 15 minutes, I am going to close and say goodnight. Bishop Enoch, let me see here, has just said something. Okay. So maybe he will pop up. We'll see. Someone did have a question for Bishop Enoch. Let me just ask that question, actually. I know that Nikolai, give me a moment. Let me see if I can get that question you asked earlier and find it. Hold on. Okay. It's going to take me a while. Aha. Found that. No, I found it. I'm trying to... Oh, hold on. I'm going to share that question with Bishop Enoch, and hopefully he'll be able to respond. And here. Okay. So I did ask Bishop Enoch, so we'll see if he'll give a response on that one. He may be very busy. He may be busy. Once again, do you have practical advice for laymen in the GOCK that want to do something about the RelicGate? Do you recommend they write their bishop with their priest's blessing? Yes. I recommend that they, let their priest know as well and ask for a blessing for it. Now, the priest may say no. Then what? My suggestion is write the letter anyway.
Do we know whose?
Huh?
Do we know whose relics they were?
No, this is in Greece. I'm sure somebody knows, and it is in one of the newspapers.
Oh, so it's okay. All right.
But I don't have that exact information. But that would be my suggestion, would be to write to the bishop. Not, when you're talking about a moral issue, the point is, let's say the priest doesn't want to rock the boat, then you write the bishop, whether or not you get a blessing. Quite frankly, because that is how when we do the with the priest blessing, that's how scandals form. Because what we basically allow is that the people who are supposed to be accountable suddenly aren't being accountable, then nobody's accountable. And so we have to that end. I'd love to just say, yes, write your bishop with your priest blessing. But I also know there are priests who'd be like, oh, I'm not going to give that blessing.
No, I have a question to follow up on that because
sure.
I've been spending so much time in World Orthodoxy.
Bishop Enoch was here. Hold on. Okay, you were saying, what was your question?
Spending so much time in World Orthodoxy, often when you write a bishop, they forget to answer you. So how do you proceed from that point?
That's a great question. Benedicite. Yeah. So what now? If the bishop pretends not to answer you, unfortunately, all you can do is get louder, and as more people get scandalized, tell them to write the bishop. The only thing you can do is keep on making noise. And to be frank, in many cases, that's the one thing people don't want you to do is make noise. So that's why you have to make more noise.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about RelicGate.
What is that?
It was.
I don't follow any of this, so tell me.
Okay. You might know the case, but about a week or 2 weeks ago, I guess a bishop of the GOC Clinicos lent out a relic to the new calendarists, and it caused quite a stir because there were a lot of other options they had, not the least of which was just hosting the relic in one of their own churches nearby. But by lending it to the new calendarists, a lot of people are concerned and have a very, very real concern that if that's allowable, it doesn't make sense. On the one hand, people have had to have even their baptisms redone at times, but now all of a sudden the new calendarists who kind of were responsible for like persecuting and killing true Orthodox are suddenly of a better moral character than other true Orthodox. To me, it strikes me as hypocrisy in the highest form. But more importantly, as a priest, I feel like I should say something because I know a lot of priests aren't because they're afraid to.
So this wasn't some case of just some random layperson or a monk or just saying, "Oh, here you can have this." I mean, which is bad enough. It was a bishop that gave relics. Okay,
that's from what I understand. It had the blessing of the bishop. Yeah. Okay. So let me see.
Well, I do not agree with such policy.
Yeah. Why did they not allow? I don't know. I guess my thing is why they didn't, like you said, why didn't they host it and let the new calendars come to the church? That's odd.
Because remember, even historically, like in places in Italy where the papists have controlled relics of saints for centuries that are actual Orthodox saints. I mean, the Orthodox, will go there. They don't worship in those churches. They just go there to venerate the relics.
Yeah,
like I did that. If you want to venerate like the relics of many pre-Western saints, they're going to be in churches controlled by heretics. Although it happens to be often, many times, these are like totally empty buildings no one goes to anyway, except for Orthodox people.
Well, it's like I went to Saint Anastasius of Rome. No relics.
There were no relics in the church itself.
No.
Wow, what happened to them?
I think the Orthodox have some of them.
Okay.
And then I don't know what happened to the rest of them.
Okay. So I mean, okay. But there was another question someone asked about a manuscript or something.
Oh yeah. Let me hold on. Hello. Okay. Hold on here. Let me. I'm gonna get to that. Let me put it back up, and then. Oh, it's been a crazy day so far. Let me see here. See if I can find it. And that question.
I can read it. You sent me an image file, I guess.
Yeah, but I'd rather have it up on the screen so that the question and the answer match. It shouldn't take me too long. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose there probably are, okay. Let's see. How Nikolai Bogman says what? Howdy, Father. My wife is a German-speaker reader who is interested in reading old manuscripts. Is Bishop Enoch still going over some German documents? Why? Well, yeah. I mean, what documents? I mean, like there's the Fulda Sacramentary, which is a 10th century manuscript of a sacramentary from Fulda. So it depends what kind of manuscripts you're looking for. You can send me an email and maybe I can get back to you. So anyway, that's what I'd say. It's a very general question. I don't. You'd have to be more specific, but we're kind of going out of time here. So
yeah. All right. Let me see if we can find more questions. Hello, Father Boniface.
Today.
All right, let's see here. Father, would it be okay for a true Orthodox on a personal level want to venerate Elder Gabriel of Georgia? Well, as Elder Gabriel of Georgia, I mean, I can't say no. I don't know exactly what his relationship was with the patriarchate. Any thoughts on the new diets like water fasts, keto, intermittent fastings? They might be new diets, but they can work for specific health issues and can be molded to the Orthodox fast. I think if they can be molded to the fast, we should look at them. And intermittent fasting is actually, we started that. So, it's only like now they're reintroducing it like it's a new medical technology. It's actually our technology. It's what we use to do the fast. I know Vatio, brother of venerated St. Gabriel. I haven't looked into his life personally. I don't recognize the authority that glorified him. I just refer to him as Elder Gabriel. If there is a need, I was watching the Western Rite channel stuff, and you said a few things about some untranslated German works you'd like to take a look at. I assume that's for you, Felico.
Yeah, I don't quite remember what ones I mentioned, but I'm sure I did say something, maybe. So.
Okay. I have a painted icon of Elder Gabriel as well as holy oil from his grave as dirt from his grave.
He's the one that's famous because he, like in 1950 or 1945,
right.
he threw gasoline on the picture of Lenin and set it on fire.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of
maybe.
I mean, at least you can probably say that does not seem like somebody who was anyway. He was a brave person.
He was definitely not a surgeonist.
Yeah, at least personally, exactly. So, okay.
In any case, all right. So, let's see here. And basically, we're at the 1 hour 36 minute mark here. I'm going to shut down the 15-minute warning 2 minutes early because I can. But I do want to thank everyone for all of their help. As I mentioned, we're now going on a year. Where since this has kind of been working full time for the church, we've seen some great and wonderful results, and we're seeing more on the average. Oh, this is good. Blue Hill says, I'm asking because the average Orthodox fast is carb heavy, so in the case of ketosis, you'd have to focus on nuts, lentils, and other fats and proteins. Or you'd have to use actual plant proteins. In general to replace or even shellfish, but ultimately it's the average Orthodox fast is carb heavy, but that is that's mostly true for
Americans,
because in Greece they eat mostly a Mediterranean diet, so
cabbage
but in Russia and Ukraine there are a lot of potatoes and things.
Yeah, but there's also a lot of cabbage.
Yeah, cabbage.
Cabbage is all over the place in Russia.
Yeah.
Sweet potatoes though have about half the the carbs as regular potatoes. So, and the more vitamins, so you could always eat sweet potatoes. So that's what I do.
Yeah, this Nikolai Bellman says there's a book called The Athos Diet that's basically fast and keto. Yes, the author of the book, Dr. Pete Petitsas, if that's the one you're referring to, that's basically what it is. And it's a fantastic diet. It does work. Buckwheat, yep, carb heavy. Very true. Okay, now I know I gave my ultimatum on comments, so the comments are closed, people. They're closed.
Are there any back questions?
No.
Okay.
No, I think I answered all of them. We even had 2 people we had to boot off the stream today. One who was pretending to work in an Indian call center, and another guy just kept talking about preaching the Torah.
They actually came on the screen. The audio portion.
Well, no, the scammer guy did, yeah. And
I'm sorry, I missed that part.
The other guy was just in the chat repeatedly spamming the same things over and over.
Oh, okay.
So it was unique to say the least.
That means you're getting more attention.
So we can Father Boniface's take on the goblin problem. Oh boy! Well, you were here for some of it, Father. I know in the chat. So I mean, they want your opinion.
What's the goblin?
Apparently, in Zimbabwe, there are reports of goblins attacking police, and we all have our theories as to what they are.
All right, I'm gonna go. I'll talk to you later. Okay.
I'm sorry, Vladiko Benedict.
No, I just had to stop by. That is kind of. I did see that on a news article.
Oh yeah, the scammer did call to repent. I got it. I have to
about the goblins though. All right. We'll
not
talk
about
later.
the goblins. Okay.
All right. Blessed feast of Pentecost. All right.
Amen.
Bye.
Bless you.
Okay.
So you want me to talk about the goblin problem?
Yeah, you want to talk about the goblin problem? Please,
Lord have mercy.
Well, you know, in Florida, we had a problem with some monkeys.
Hold on, Father. What'd you eat? What'd you eat first?
With some,
it's tradition.
What was I gobbling?
No, I said, what were you gobbling?
I had.
Oh
no. Speaking of gobblings, I got you.
What was for dinner today?
Okay, you know what I had? I had oatmeal and sausage with apple on top because I wasn't feeling good. I'm fighting some hay fever, I think. So I had kind of my breakfast for the second time.
Makes sense. Okay, well that's
it was good. It was good. Light on the stomach. So anyway, so you want me to talk about the other goblin?
I guess, or...
I'll tell you something. They had some monkeys here in Central Florida. They got diseased, and they were going out and biting people and transferring the disease. So, you know, cats and dogs today are stressed out because of the GMOs that they put in the junk food that they give the cats and dogs in the cans, and and in the tender victuals. And so you can see that maybe animals could get stressed. And so all somebody has to do is taint food, and put some psycho drugs in them and get things going. I know, and thinking about this, the comments were made when a country departs from God, then the demons come in. And so I remember in Uganda, I was there in 1980 just for a summer. And, when Idi Amin got kicked out, it was reputed that, goats were giving birth to calves and that Idi Amin had turned into a hippo or a goat and ran out of the country and escaped and stuff like that. So, you get all this irrationality and disruptive of the social order. And looks like that's happening over there. And, like it's happening here too, So anyway, it's just all wrapped up in a package. The drugs, the food, the occultism, the corrupt government, the kicking out God, and it all wraps up to one unhappy package.
Yeah, definitely.
That's all.
It's interesting you mentioned the food, because when I was overseas, I have stomach issues. And when I was over there, the food didn't bother me because I ban a lot of the stuff we have over here. The first meal I had when I got back here, I was sick as a dog. So that should tell you something.
Well, I know a doctor here in Lakeland that said that the wheat, Europe will not take our wheat unless it's at a level of 7% gluten. Mm-hmm. They won't take any higher because they know the gluten is tainted, the bread's all tainted, the wheat's all tainted, and Americans get stuck with eating this stuff. And that's why people, and I myself, I have a wheat sensitivity. I haven't eaten wheat for probably 10, 11, 12, 13 years, and dairy and stuff like that. And so I was going to bring that up as far as diet during the fast, because we're looking at a poisoned food system in America. I was concerned even about eating certain things. I'm allergic to soy and corn. And what are they feeding these farm-fed fish? Are getting what? Probably corn and soy, because I know the chickens are getting it. I was going to buy a chicken the other day, and they said, we only feed, and it was on the label, like these chickens are fed soy and corn. And I'm thinking, no wonder I was having some problems with chicken. What I need is them to be brought up on a chicken farm where they eat organic ants and worms. That's what I really need. Give me a bird that's, not eating this manufactured, systematic food. So, I need to go out to the ocean and fish, I need to go shoot my own hog or something. But anyway, so it's a problem. It's a problem. And so you need to detox, take a parasite cleanse, go on contrabandcures.com, try chlorine dioxide. I'm on it, and I think it's working. And so anyway, that's my 2 cents.
All right. Well, sounds good. In that case, Father, I want to thank you for being on. I'd like to thank Bodika John. I'd like to thank you, Reader John. You didn't even tell us about, where. Now, what was it just a vacation you were going on or?
Well, it was a little bit of vacation, a little bit of stopping over at some holy sites.
Oh wow! Where'd you go?
Well, some of my plans were set aside because we missed our cruise. But we got stuck in Rome, which is a good city to get stuck in, by the way. But I ended up going to like the Church of St. Cosmas and Damian, St. Anastasius of Rome, St. Lawrence, the one that ended up being grilled. And he said,
"Yeah, I have a relic of his."
Yeah. So I visited him. I went to go see St. Peter. I got to see the pseudo saints of the Roman Catholic Church. By the way, they must have done a new facelift on John the 23rd because he was looking particularly fresh. So,
wow.
Yeah, I think they switched out the silicone or something. But yeah, and then I was supposed to go to like Greece and Turkey to go see holy sites there, but that didn't happen. So ended up going around Rome and went to London and to go see like the relics of Saint Edward the Martyr and all that. So
nice.
Since I think the Callinicos Synod has his relics. So I think that's what they're under Callinicos. So and
that's great.
Yeah, they don't have that many relics left in Britain for some reason. And France for that matter. I did see. I did go to the churches in France, like Saint Denis, aka Saint Dionysius. So.
You're right.
But,
wow, well, that's awesome.
Yeah, I tried, but there's not that many relics. These fake churches, so, unfortunately. So, yeah.
Well,
makes you wonder where all the relics went. So.
Go over to Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, that's true. Where they have that giant. What's that? It's like kind of like a big archive of relics that they keep.
Where's that at? Where's that at?
Well, in Pittsburgh, there's this weird. It's like I think it was originally meant to be like a storage space for relics for like the Roman Catholic Church, but as Vatican II happened and afterwards, people didn't know people were literally disposing of relics, so they just started going to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh now has like the world's largest collection of relics.
Like our saints' relics? Or?
Some of ours.
I would imagine a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if you could give a donation.
Well, just don't ask a particular synod in Greece.
Oh yeah, well, unless you're in the calendar.
I had to get that one in there.
Didn't mean to take that swipe. It was an unnecessary swipe.
No,
friendly fire.
Friendly fire.
Okay, I think I might have just broke the cafe, but we'll find out. And yes, and it's easier to digest. Okay. All right. Well, with that, I would like to thank everybody that I always screw this up. First off, I want to say thank you to everyone, to our guests, to Reader John, to Father Boniface, to Bishop Enoch. I guess I'll give one to the weird scammer guy because he did call to repent. To those who ask questions and add comments, and to those who support our mission, support the channel. We at NFTU need your help. Support us by subscribing or donating at nftu.net, throwing in a super chat. Shout out to Wasnut and to Jonathan for doing that on this stream. On GiveSendGo or on Odyssey, all the donation options are available on nftu.net at the bottom. We remember all of you in our prayers, and thank you for all the support for NFTU. With that, I am going to say a blessed feast of Pentecost, and have a good night, everyone.
Blessed feast.
Blessed feast.